Thanks, Wilson. Well, as Wilson said, the electrical Kers system is a rotational braking force that is basically captured by an electric motor or generator called the MGU, which most commonly is mounted on the crankshaft of the vehicle. Now, this MGU takes the electrical energy that it converts from the kinetic energy and then holds it in a lithium-ion battery. Then, this allows the driver to press a button on his steering wheel that summons the energy all in about a lifespan of 10 seconds. So what it is basically a limited duration turbocharger. The most common storage unit is the lithium-ion battery. But as Wilson will talk about, the flywheel is also a common Kers system.
Thank you, Mr. Barnett. Now, a flywheel system, it was actually developed by Williams Racing, which is a F1 team, mostly because they feel that the transition of energy from kinetic energy to potential energy stored into a battery and chemical energy back into potential energy and into kinetic energy is a waste. So, they sought to eliminate the middleman and created the flywheel system. A flywheel, as you know, is basically a disc. Here is a pictorial representation, but I'll use my hand. It spins at generally about a 5-to-1 input ratio, so if you input at, say, 5 RPM, the flywheel begins spinning at 25 RPM. Now, what happens is, whenever this energy is stored there, it generally has a series of gears and interlocking mechanisms that allow it to create that energy. Once spinning, it is separated from the main body. It holds this energy through centrifugal force and through the amazing amount of kinetic energy that's generated. Once this system wants to be reintroduced, you simply apply a series of brakes or discs, and it reconnects with the transmission, as noted here, runs back into the drive shaft, and provides an extra amount of torque and power to the vehicle. Actually, one of the interesting points of it is that it never actually changes from kinetic energy. It always maintains that form, and therefore Volvo has chosen it as the most efficient. Now, Mr. Barnett will actually come up and speak to some of the material potential of Kers, mostly in the vein of economics.
Thanks, Wilson. Well, and the Kers system has massive potential. First, the system only weighs 25 kilograms. That's pretty light for a system that has endless possibility and one of the most efficient ways to power a vehicle in the world we live in today. First, it has a very high power capability. It's very, very lightweight and small in size. The system lasts up to 250,000 kilometers. And that's just the electrical Kers system. The flywheel system, nobody knows how long it will last. It's amazing. It is very, very safe. It is truly a green solution. Far greener than even a hybrid. It's very, very efficient, and it has a low carbon content, which we all know is the source of the ozone depleting. And most important of all, in the world we live in today with rising prices, it is very, very, very low to manufacture. It is only $750 per unit, and that is now in its start life. Volvo estimates that in 5 years that the majority of its vehicles will have this system, and in 10 years it will be accessible to almost any type of vehicle. With the electric cars being a failure, somebody needs to step up to the plate, and these car companies right here are doing so. These are billion-dollar manufacturers, and they are implementing this $750 solution to make this a cleaner, greener Earth. And you have Ferrari, BMW, Volvo in the higher end, more performance driven. Then you have your Ford and General Motors that are for the more economical people, normal people. I, it really is an amazing system. But what better way to end this video than a clip of, well, Formula One. We hope you enjoyed this thing, and
actually, before we close, I'd like to dive into a little graph here we've provided. If Mr. Producer will actually slide back a slide. Now, if you notice, Kers here, I'm very, very sorry. You see, Arden has a brother and it's just awful. Point being, if you notice, this is actually a traditional engine, the red line. This is the torque and crossed over with engine speed. If you notice, the Kers of a Ferrari system, which actually generally cost about $1,250 to produce, actually increases the performance dramatically, especially over the speed and the torque. And honestly, it's one of the greatest green solutions we have on the planet. 20% fuel efficiency increase. Now, here's the kicker. The box that controls the flywheel, or holds it, actually can hold 1,150 bars of pressure before releasing. Now, it's made out of some of the most dense and some of the most strongest materials on Earth. Now, the good news is this box, for us physicists, holds the potential to, when it explodes, think of the amount of energy released. So that's kind of funny.